Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to OCAA men's basketball action here on OCAA Live. It's the 0-1 Centennial Colts taking on the 1-0 Durham Lords. Jory Negan-Schechter joined by Zach Warden in what is sure to be an exciting matchup today. The Colts taking on the Lords in the second half of a doubleheader here. The men's team in action as right off the hop, the Colts getting out in front of it. It's Tayshawn Crawford with the triple, and the Colts jump out to a 3-0 lead. Durham now with a chance to respond. It's the point guard, Angelo Saronis. Now he sends it off into the corner. It's taken away by the Colts on the fast break now. Big opportunity to the hoop. It's Hussam Shallow putting it in, and it's a quick 5-0 lead.
Great start here for the Colts. Jory getting out, playing some good defense, hitting that shot early, and up 5-0.
Durham trying to stretch the floor and make stuff happen, but that one sent out of bounds, and the Colts will get the ball here. Just starting this one. The Colts, a lot of new faces for this home opener, so it's the first chance we're getting to see them live. But one player that we're going to be very familiar with, and I'm sure that fans you'll be very familiar with, will be Kovan Armstrong, who was amongst the Colts' best players last season. He's number 5 there out in the corner. Armstrong with the ball now. Sends it across. It's Shallow. Shallow down low now, feeds it over to Crawford. He drives the hoop. It's rebounded though, and it's Simon who takes it. He'll send it ahead. It's a good defensive play. As getting in the way there is Armstrong, and it's going to be Durham ball.
First chance we'll get to see the Durham offense here. Jory, a couple turnovers in transition there. We'll see how they set up here against the Colts defense.
Still haven't really seen them working quite to their capacity in the early going, as it's handed off now. The working around the side. It's fired up by Saronis and in. That's a nice shot there. And it's now 5-2. Still in the early going. Crawford carries it up. Surveys his options. Now he sends it off. Now Shallow with it. Dribble drive, step back. Doesn't do anything with it though as he sends it off now. It's Williams. He'll send it off. The Colts working around the three-point line. Nice move by Shallow, but he turns it over, and back come the Durham Lords. Go into the hoop now as that was Simon unable to put it away, and the Colts turn it back the other way. Fast-paced action in the early going. Armstrong with a spin move. Go into the hoop, and he will draw the foul and head to the line.
Kovan Armstrong, the Colts men's basketball MVP last season, heading to the line here, getting out in transition, getting to the rim.
He's one guy that certainly in the early going you notice him and will be fun to watch. He is oozing with skill. A guy very long, very lanky. Likes to create his own shot. Likes to pull up from mid-range and likes to be involved in the offense.
Yeah, he didn't miss a shot in their first game, Jory. 19 points, 6 of 6 from the field in their opening loss to Fleming.
Colts looking to pick up their first win of the season. Would be no better time than in the home opener. As ahead Durham goes. Now it's sent back to the bottom of the three-point line. Over the corner now. A three ball. Doesn't fall though. They retain possession now. Picked up the three. Doesn't go again. Battle for the rebound. It's a tough play. And it will be Colts ball. That was Tayshawn Crawford going up. That got hit pretty hard. He will inbound it now to Armstrong as the Colts go back the other way. With it now is Hussam Shallow. He'll work his way. Now sends it back. They'll kick it around. The corner three for Dundala doesn't go, and that'll be taken now by Durham.
For the Durham Lords, one player to watch, Adam Hosseini, in their first win against Georgian. He had 28 points on 11 of 14 shooting, so the big man looking to make an impact again here as Durham is on the road to start their season for 2 straight games here against the Colts after taking that first victory.
That's a nice play to get to the hoop by the aforementioned Hosseini, but he's unable to get it, and it's going to be a travel on the Colts. So it'll be the Lords who retain possession. Hosseini, a product of Vaughan Secondary School, noted alumnus and Canadian basketball icon. Can we call him an icon at this point? Andrew Wiggins, Vaughan Secondary School. Wonder if those two played together. Lords inbound the ball. Now with it, Simon sends it off. Again, it's Hosseini with it. He'll shimmy and fire, but unable to put it through, and now back go the Colts. Incredibly fast-paced action here as they kick it out to the corner. They'll slow it down a little bit as Armstrong has it at the top of the key. Armstrong makes a pass now to Shallow. He'll fire from deep. That one's off, though. Good work there on the boards, though. The Colts pick it up again, and Armstrong now has it on the far side. Once again, they'll reset. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Commanding his troops now. He'll fire the three. Doesn't go. Rebounded now by Hosseini. He'll set it off now to Sorsonis, and he'll dribble it up the floor. Sorsonis sends it out to Hosseini. He fires from deep. Yes, sir! That's a big three for Hosseini. And the score now 7 of 5. Armstrong carrying it up the floor for the Colts. He is the primary ball handler for this Colts team. Drives the bucket, and he will get that to go, plus the foul. So he will shoot 2. Oh, the call is on the floor, excuse me, so we will not give him the 2, but he will get to shoot.
Yeah, obviously Koban going to get a lot of the attention here for the Colts, but if you're looking for other names to look at here for Centennial, Ambrosi Indugala, he had a great game in game 1. He had 10 points himself, knocked down 3 free throws. Could be another guy to watch out for today. Apparently, according to the box score here, also adding in a rebound, 3 or 4 from the field. A very efficient game for him, so another guy to watch out for.
Colts are a team that likes to work as a unit, as the Colts will foul there. But yeah, the Colts like to work as a unit. No one player really blew the doors off in their opener against the Fleming Knights, excuse me. As at the line now for the Durham Lords is Kansky Simon. He'll miss his first free throw. But yeah, this Colts team gonna have to figure out what its identity is, because there are a lot of new faces for this season. This one's now brought up by Tayshawn Crawford. He'll send it off to Hussam Shallow, directing the troops. He'll dribble up, crossover now. Passes it back to Armstrong. Kovan Armstrong, covered tightly by Hosseini. Nice pick there. Now he pulls up and fires and makes it. with just a second on the clock.
Little high pick and roll there for the Colts. Drop defense for Durham, and Armstrong made them pay, pulling up in the mid-range.
That's what he can do. He can make it happen from the mid-range. There's a nice play there. Good work by Gansky Simon. And that's going to get him to the line. So the Colts trying their darndest, but a solid play anyways there by the Lords. So he will look to pick up the and one. He does exactly that. Colts leading by 3. It's 11-8. Halfway through the first quarter in the Colts home opener.
Home opener led by new head coach Michael Jackman, his first year with the team after being an assistant last season. Trying to imprint his impact on the Colts organization here.
Armstrong with the 3 doesn't go. Back the other way go the Durham Lords. Now with it, it's Hosseini driving to the hoop. He'll send it out. It's turned over. Now back the other way goes Tayshawn Crawford driving the bucket. He will draw the foul on the floor. So the Colts will retain possession. Both teams with 3 fouls each. As you can see, Coach Jackman barking at the refs from the bench. And we have a timeout. So 11-8 here in the early going. Both teams finding their stroke early on. Anybody stand out in the early going to you, Zach?
I mean, you got to go with Coban, right? He's the man here, and he's kind of making it all happen for the Colts today. And obviously Hosseini on the other side, putting up a lot of shots so far for Durham and leading them.
Seems like those two are kind of the focal points of their respective offenses. Armstrong with that smooth stroke, he can make it happen. Last year at times, maybe forced this shot a little bit when things weren't going right for the Colts. So something that you'll maybe look for him to adjust in this season, maybe add a bit of a playmaking element to his repertoire. Certainly a good enough ball handler to make that transition happen.
Yeah, the Colts looking to bounce back this season after going 2-6 last year in kind of the abbreviated OCAA season. Getting off to that loss that we talked about against Fleming, looking to start things off with a win here at home at the Athletic and Wellness Center here in Scarborough.
That would certainly be a welcome sight. The fans obviously in attendance for the first time in quite some time. So for the Colts looking to do proud by their home supporters. The inbound now as the Colts have it on the far side, and a travel called on Hussam Shallow. So that's not how you're looking to have your offense get going, as the ball is turned over and the Durham Lords will get their opportunity.
Little 2-2-1 full court press here by the Colts to come out of that timeout. A little adjustment, see what they're going to do defensively here in the half court.
They're going to be looking to make adjustments. On the far side now an opportunity. It's Hosseini unable to make it go, but cleaning up the garbage. Good work there, and it's now an 11-10 game. Colvin Armstrong with some ferocity, trying to make stuff happen though as he uses his speed. Now it's Shallow with the ball, driving the bucket. Sends it off now. Good work down low, and drawing the foul is Kalyle Williams, the Ajax Ontario product, and he will get to the line.
Looks like we're in for another tight game here today. Game 1 of the doubleheader saw the Durham Lords taking a back and forth affair over the Centennial Colts.
The Lords, Tomas Barbosa heading off, and coming on will be looks like number 12 Latrell Ulamov, excuse me. Colts do get one free throw to fall, so it's now 12-10. As Hosseini will inbound the ball. Good lead pass there, again with the stretch passes, but it's swiped away, and with an opportunity, he'll slam it down. That's Tayshawn Crawford going to the hoop. That's a big 2, and the Colts now up 14-10. Now trying to respond. It's Hosseini with his own triple. And it's a 1-point game. Back and forth this one goes.
Durham back-to-back trying to go over top of the zone there. Worked out the second time, but the first time they did turn it over once they got it past those first two lines of defense there.
Armstrong with the rock. Good defense, though, as that one's tipped away. They'll retain possession. Armstrong again with the ball. Kicks it out to the corner for three. Got it! That's a buzzer beater triple there by Hussam Shallow. And the Colts answer right back. Neither team having any problem putting the bucket up there, as that one will fall short. And now after a little bit of a scramble, it's the Colts with a fast break. Armstrong, nice little hesitation. Good recovery. They're unable to put it away, though. Armstrong with the ball again, sends it to Shallow. Shallow down low, driving the basket. He loses the ball, though, and now they're on a fast break opportunity, or so you thought. Great defensive play there by Tayshawn Crawford. Now in the corner, Shallow can't get it to go. He'll pick up his own rebound, though. Now it's again Crawford with the ball. He'll send it off to Armstrong. Back to Crawford, going to the hoop. Good defense, though, by the Lords. Will stuff that opportunity. Husseini going to the bucket, and he will put it in.
Back and forth we go. High-paced action here, OCAA basketball.
That is exactly the kind of game I think we were expecting. Both of these teams, no problem with the high-paced offense. For the Colts, though, the defense will have to be better than it was last time, as there's a shot from the free throw line that doesn't go for Ndingala. And so up go the Lords. Here's Hosseini with it again. Going up to challenge him, and a good defensive play is the substitution. Lewin making a nice play. Now for three, goes up and down, no call though. Wide open from deep, yes sir! It'll be Tayshawn Crawford from distance as he puts that one in from Calgary as the Colts are up 20-15.
Crawford with 8 points here early on, leading the way for the Colts offensively. As you mentioned earlier, kind of spreading out the offense, getting help from all across their roster here.
Angelo Sarsonis draws the foul there. Scores 20-15 with just over a minute left in a frenetic first quarter of action, as we've got a timeout. This has been a fantastic first quarter. You're watching OCAA men's basketball on OCAA Live. Welcome back to men's basketball OCAA action on OCAA Live. Jory Negan-Schechter joined by Zach Warden. The Colts in their home opener getting into a good start at 20-15 with just 1:16 left on the clock in the first quarter. Headed to the line, though, is Angelo Sarsonis, as he drew the foul there, driving to the bucket just before the timeout.
Sarsonis part of a veteran core here with the Durham Lords. They have 3 fourth-year players and 1 fifth-year player, so a little bit of an experience difference here between the Lords and the Colts. The Colts only have first and second-year players, so we'll see if that plays an impact in the game here today.
Both free throws will fall for Sarsonis, so now it's Armstrong for the Colts carrying it up, just over a minute left. They'll send it over to Shallow on the other side, back to Armstrong. A little give-and-go action here. Now it's sent over to Ndingala. Back now to Shallow. 7 seconds on the shot clock. Armstrong from deep, doesn't go. Battle for the rebound there, and it's going to end up being Durham ball. It's going to be Adam Hosseini who will inbound it.
The Colts still in their 2-2-1 zone here in the half court, or in the full court, excuse me. We'll see if they kind of stick with that the whole game or if they do end up going away from it.
Well, we'll look into that more between quarters on why maybe you feel they're doing that, as now it's a big pass. Good defense, though, as it's going to be Shallow getting his body in the way of that one. And it's going to end up being Colts' ball as Durham's unable to put the ball in the hoop. So now Armstrong hit the Shallow. 36 seconds remain.
Good time to go 2 for 1 here. Get your one shot off before 24 seconds to ensure yourself a second possession.
Armstrong Shallow from deep. He got it from range. That's some good shooting from Shallow. And it's 23-17. Durham trying to get over the center line. It's stolen by Armstrong. Good work there. Shallow again. 11 seconds, 10 seconds. They're going to try to run down the clock, maybe put something in before the buzzer. Shallow again. Doesn't get it to go. On the rebound, they fight for it, and it's going to be a foul.
That'll send him to the line. 5th team foul in the quarter with 1 second left.
That is not how you draw it up. If you are the Durham Lords, as Joshua and Pina heading to the line. First we've seen him at the charity stripe in this late afternoon affair. He put that in for his first. As mentioned, Pina, one of several first years, 5 of them in total, and the rest, the other 5 on the Colts roster, second years. So talk about finding a new core. As that one will fall down 25-17. Time will expire, and that will conclude the first quarter of action. The Colts get out going. It's 25-17. You're watching Colts basketball on OCAA Live.
We'd also like to remind our audience that one lucky contestant will randomly be selected from tonight's spectators to have a chance to win $1,000 from the OCAA Shoot Catch contest at halftime.
Welcome back to men's OCAA basketball action here on OCAA Live. Joined by Zach Warden. Colts ahead 25-17. Zach, you noticed something in the first quarter of action in terms of the Colts and their tactical strategies that you wanted to highlight.
Yeah, the Colts early on going with a 2-2-1 zone off of makes and inbounds from Durham. So looking to kind of limit the transition there and keep Durham from getting out into their offense early, and it has been working with the fast-paced action that we've had so far.
So do you think that they stick with that, with the way that it's been working early?
Yeah, they generated a couple turnovers off of it. There was only kind of one instance that I can remember where Durham got the ball over it and knocked down a 3, so they've done a good job of keeping Durham from getting into that half-court offense.
So we begin the second quarter of action. On the floor for the Colts is Husam Shallow, Armstrong, Makaladu we haven't seen yet, as well as Lewin and Impina. As that one will be turned over, and it'll be
moving screen there.
On the floor for the Lords is Taylor Douglas, Barton Sersonis, as well as Hosseini. And Olamo. So with the ball now, it's McLeod. Sends it over to Armstrong. Now, Shallow, who had the hot hand in the first quarter of action, up with the floater, gets it to go off the window pane, and it's now 27 to 17 for the Colts. They're starting to build a lead, 10 points, the largest lead they've had so far.
Shallow making a big impact early here. He only had 3 points in the season opening game, so really stepping up his game here today and leading the Colts in scoring right now.
Good work there by Armstrong and Shallow in the backcourt, avoiding the turnover. Shallow up to Armstrong. It's turned over though anyways as they give the ball up and back the other way. Goes Durham. That one will end up going off a Colts player. It is Empina. So inbounding the ball for Durham will be Angelo Cersonis. Durham sets up. Outside the three-point to the top of the key. Now Croft for three, doesn't go. That was Osaini, rebounded by the Colts. Now with some speed, a nice explosiveness there by Lewin. Sends it over now into the key, but a good defensive play. It'll be a foul though. That one's on Marcel Olamoff. So headed to the line is Josh Empina.
Empina, one of those first years that we were talking about here, a hometown kid from Scarborough playing for Centennial.
First free throw isn't going to go. Yeah, I mean, you look at all these first years and you figure that it's going to be a learning curve, if you will, for the Colts. Their first game kind of indicative of that, as Empina will make his second. But the way that this one started, I mean, no learning curve to be noted here. With the ball now, it's number 2 for the Lords. That's Taylor Douglas. He'll turn it over though. They've got it back now. Back to Cersonis. Cersonis inside. Taylor Douglas with the 2, doesn't go. Rebounded again though. Douglas on his own rebound. A battle for it and the scramble there, but it's going to end up being Centennial Colts basketball.
Great defense there from Empina, contesting that, hands up, straight up in the air. No foul on the play, just great defense.
Colts looking sharp defensively here, especially given the, 97 points they gave up in their first game. They're very impressive. Armstrong now tries to feed Shallow, but that one's tipped away by the Durham Lords defender. Remains Colts ball though with 13 on the shot clock. Shallow will inbound it. Surveys his options, sends it off to McLeod. McCallum. Now into the corner, Armstrong. Gets it to go from deep. The Colts veteran making it rain. The backcourt for the Colts doing work. Inside now. A quick response, though. Nothing doing for the Lords, though. Armstrong with the ball now. He'll carry it up through the center of the court.
Durham's offense very sped up by this Colts 2-2-1 zone. They're forcing them to try and get their offense quickly when they feel they're open, but just great defense from the Colts to recover once the ball does get past those first 2 lines.
No adjustment by the Lords indeed, which is, I mean, that zone is working its magic. Carrying the ball up now, it's going to be Taylor Douglas. He'll go in, unable to get it to fall. He gets his own rebound, though. Sends it off at the charity stripe. That was Simon unable to make it go. And now the Colts head back the other way with speed. Going to the hoop, it's taken away, and now it's Sarsona trying to make a move. He goes behind the back, sends it ahead. Now it's Hosseini right there underneath the bucket and uncontested. He'll make that one happen. So that will end the Colts run, but it is now 31-19 as this lead has ballooned for the Colts.
Centennial off to a great start here in the second quarter. In their loss to Fleming, they only scored 7 points in the second quarter. So here today, really making that adjustment coming out of the first quarter break.
Armstrong from deep! And a big 3 from the Colts veteran. 34-22. The Colts are feeling it from distance. And the call there, not going to go.
Centennial already 6 threes made so far in this game as they've broken out to this lead, and that outside attack combined with the defense really helping them grow the lead heading into the rest of the second quarter.
They don't call them the Centennial Golden State Colts for nothing. They can make it rain from distance. Armstrong with the ball. Sized up, now goes to the hoop. Trying to make something happen. And that one gonna be a charge, I believe. Yep, it's gonna be a charge. So good work there by the Lords. Good defensive work there.
Douglas, another one of those experienced Durham players in his 4th year. Another Scarborough player here, but suiting up for the Lords and not the hometown Colts.
Bit of a homecoming for him. Now Sarsona's tipped away though, and the Colts take it back the other way. 2-on-1, nice touch there, but unable to get the fall. Great rebounding there, and the foul. That's Husam Shallow going up there. That 6-foot frame, no problem. He's got the hops anyways, collecting the rebound and drawing the foul, so he'll head to the charity stripe. That is some good effort by the Toronto kid.
Shallow really making his impact here today. You know, like we mentioned earlier, not a huge game for him in game 1, but today really coming in and making his mark on this Colts versus Lords affair.
He's definitely been, in my eyes, probably the most impactful player. He's been hitting it from deep, and he's been working hard, even down low, even given his size. So very impressed by him. He looks like a real difference maker, the product of Westview Centennial Secondary School. He's in his 2nd year with Centennial. So Shallow will head to the line. 5:47 remaining in the second quarter. It's 34-19 in what has been a good showing for the Colts early on. Zach, besides Shallow and Armstrong, anybody else stick out to you?
Yeah, I think Crawford had a really big impact early on. He's also, made a couple threes today. He's got 8 points, 3 of 4, 2 rebounds, and assist. He's been a good secondary creator for the Colts today.
Shallow unable to get the first one to fall there.
For Durham, Hosseini already out with 10 points in this game. He's already put up 9 shots and made 4 of them, including 2 threes. So he's definitely the guy to watch for Durham.
That one's going to rim out for Shallow, so neither one's going to fall. However, it's a lane violation, and he'll get one more shot. Colts catch a break. Shallow unable to make that one fall either, though. So he goes 0 3 from the line, I guess. So carrying it up now is Taylor Douglas. It's O'Shane Taylor Douglas inside now. Putting it up and drawing the foul. That one there.
Bolt the Colt ready to get the crowd into it here.
Lords with their second free throw opportunity here. That one is not going to go either. Unable to make it happen from the stripe, though. Now with this Hosseini, he'll kick it out. Now driving to the hoop. A pass back to the corner. They'll circle it around the three-point line. Now driving the basket. That one's Taylor Douglas. And he'll get to the hoop and put it in.
Nice little Euro step through the defense there. 2 more for Douglas.
With the ball now, the Colts from deep. That one there was Jacob McCullough, and he'll draw the foul and shoot 3 from the line. Did a good job there inducing contact.
His first shot attempt of the game. We'll see how he can shoot from the line here.
Unable to make the first one happen. As we can see over by the sideline, it's Michael Jackman having a chat with his players. second one's going to go, though. So that's McCollett's first point and second points of the game. Colts up now by 15. Up the floor, it's O'Shane Taylor Douglas. Over to Hosseini. Hosseini driving. And they draw the charge. Good defensive work there by the Colts.
Centennial's defense looking really good so far here tonight. Obviously gave up 97 points in that first game, but really looking good tonight. I'm really impressed by the way that they're guarding the rim. They don't have necessarily a true big out there, but they've done a great job of preventing the Lords from getting clean looks at the rim and taking a couple charges here today.
Yeah, night and day from their opener. And I mean, really everything you could possibly ask of your coach Jackman. At the top now, sends it over now. It's Shallow with the ball. Shallow spins off his defender, kicks it out for three. Yes, sir! That's Jacob McCallum. Absolutely big shot there. Back the other way, trying to respond. That one is going to sail over, but cleaning up the mess there. Good work on the glass by Kansky Simon. Up goes Armstrong as the Colts go back and forth action, going to the hoop. Unable to put that one in, and it's out of bounds. It'll be Lord's ball. The Colts with a healthy lead here, carried in large part to some strong defensive work. They're doing a good job protecting the paint. And that's going to be an 8-second violation. Some miscommunication by Durham. And if that's not indicative of how this one's starting for them, I don't know what is.
Yeah, Colts defense confusing them a little bit. They're getting caught in the backcourt, and you know the Colts are making them pay for it offensively by knocking down their shots.
Everything's going right for Centennial right now, and what more could you possibly ask for? Here's McCallum again. He's feeling good. Unable to make that one go as back go the Lords. Now this one coming up there. It's going to be from distance. Nothing doing for Barton. Barton again with an opportunity down low. Can't get it to go. Colts get the rebound. It's Kovan Armstrong with the ball now. Armstrong on the far side. Stops up around half court over to Shallow. Shallow now on the near side. Driving the hoop. Can't draw the contact. And it's Taylor Douglas who'll pick up the rebound. Douglas now. Down low. He'll take it back. Pump fake, getting to the hoop, doing work, and he will draw the foul. Unable to pick up the and one, but he will head to the line.
Durham starting to slow down a little bit on offense, getting to the heart of the floor there, getting to the line a little bit more here as they're looking to gain some momentum offensively.
Yeah, momentum, a fickle beast, is certainly not being in the Durham Lords' favor to this point. A couple substitutions to note for the Colts. It'll be number 10 Ambrosio and Ngala coming in. He'll be replacing Josh Champina, who has made his impact as that one is not going to go. From the stripe, and that's going to be a violation on the Durham Lords, so 0 for at the stripe there.
Durham coming into a full court press here, trying to change things up defensively. We'll see how Centennial responds.
Running out of time here, but it'll be Armstrong who has the ball. He will send that one over to Crawford, who's back into this one. He had a big impact earlier. Crawford going to the hoop, and a good defensive play. He's met at the rim. Now Durham goes back the other way, and that's going to be put in by O'Shane Taylor Douglas. So perhaps some life here from the Lords, but the Colts, by and large, controlling this one here from wide open from distance. Not going to fall there for McCallum. Back go the Lords. It's turned over, and after a bit of a scramble for the ball, it's going to be the Lords who retain possession.
Durham kind of getting their feet set now in this game, looking to get themselves back in here after falling down big early.
Down low. In the post going to work. Unable to get it to fall. Number 14 on the rebound. Does a good job. And it'll be a timeout following that run by the Durham Lords. It's now 39-28, an 11-point game. The Colts with some breathing room, but not as much as before. You're watching OCAA. It's men's basketball on OCAA Live. Back here late in the second quarter. It's the Colts up 39-28 over the Durham Lords. Down to here by Armstrong. They'll carry it up the floor. Just over 2 minutes remaining in the half. Armstrong with the ball. Takes it to the top with the open. Now it's going to be McCallum with the ball. He'll send it off. They'll circle it around from distance. It's not going to fall, but a good rebound by the Colts. They pick it up. That's number 7. It's Mike Jonathan with it. They send it off to Coburn Armstrong. 7 seconds left in the clock. Armstrong's going to have to pull up at some point if he's going to do anything. Kicking it out. The shot. It's not going to fall, but they'll get the rebound and go to work on the inside. Great work there by Ambrosia Ndungala. And he draws the foul and gets to the line. Colts have done a nice job doing exactly that, getting to the stripe and making it pay off when they get there. They're 10 of 12 from the stripe. Durham just 4 of 9. That, I think, is a little bit of the story early on.
Yeah, Centennial's shooting from inside, outside, all around, just making the difference so far and helping them get out to this lead.
Both free throws will fall there. The Colts looking pretty good with just 1:43 left in this ball game with a full court press, but the Lords will head up there as that one, a nice play there. That's going to be Isaiah Barton going up, and he will head to the charity stripe with 1:39 remaining.
Barton, a first year from Whitby, joining the lineup here on this veteran Durham Lords squad.
That one's not going to fall for his first. He's still looking for his first points of the game. Gets the second one to go. So Barton's on the board. Ahead now is Crawford with it. Crawford going to the hoop and gets it to go. Crawford bullying on the inside. 43-29 for the Colts.
That's 10 points for Crawford tonight. A great attack there, great finish with the contact at the rim.
Barton now kicks it out. Taylor Douglas now. He'll lose the ball, and the Colts pick it up. Going back the other way. To the hoop, and that one, Mike Jonathan with his first 2 points of the night. This is frenetic now as back go the Lords. Unable to make it go, now trying to save it there. That was Tayshawn Crawford, but he ultimately is unable to do that.
Crawford all over the floor there. That great finish we just talked about, and then a great pass in transition for back-to-back buckets for the Colts.
So Sarsona set to inbound it. He'll kick it out now as it's taken now by Taylor Douglas. They'll kick it around, sent on the inside. Good opportunity, not going to fall though. That one there was Kansky Simon. Now it's going to be a kickball And it's going to be Durham ball with 49 seconds or just a shade over that remaining in the first half. The offense has looked all sorts of lethal for the Colts. They're already at 45 points. They have done their job. And on the defensive side, equally impressive. Only 29 points allowed, a far cry from the way their game against Fleming went.
Holding the Lords to 34% shooting. Just a great night for the Colts here so far.
Barton unable to get it to go from deep. It's rebounded by Armstrong. He'll carry it all the way up. Kicks it out now. It'll be blocked there. A nice defensive play, and back go the Durham Lords. The little give and go, but they're unable to hold onto the ball. That's tough. That's going to be Abanza unable to corral that. So with 28 seconds left, the first half just about concluded. Let's get McCallard with the ball. Now it's a high screen set. That one will bounce off of McCallard, and it will be Lord's ball. So the shot clock turned off with just 17 seconds remaining.
Colts going all the way up here. Man, full court press.
Good effort there by Jonathan, making life difficult defensively. Going up though, he'll take it away. That's Jonathan with a good defensive play to steal. Now they'll kick it out, and some miscommunication, as that was Williams, Khalil Williams, trying to make the pass there to Jacob McCallard, but not meant to be. So just a shade over a second. It's a second and a half left in this first half of action.
Kovan inbounding the ball here, not going to be the guy taking the shot.
I'm kind of surprised by that, but I mean, given the score, not a lot in the way of urgency for the Colts.
As you said last game, they all count the same though.
Turned over. They won't get the shot off in time, and that will do it for a frenetic first half of action. The Colts in command here, doing everything they can. They're up by 16. It's 45-29. You're watching Colts basketball on OCAA Live.
Okay, so the pay stub 0039881. If you could please make your way down to the start. So what's your name?
AJ.
AJ? AJ, everybody give some big round of applause for AJ. Two chances for a layup. Okay, and then Tessie.
Welcome back to men's basketball. It's OCAA action. The Centennial Colts taking on the Durham Lords in this afternoon affair at the halfway point in the ball game. The Colts up 45-29, out shooting the Lords from the field. The Colts shooting 43% versus the Lords at just 34%. Big difference as well as from distance. The Colts 7 of 17 compared to just 2 of 7 for the Lords, so that makes up a big chunk of that score difference. And the charity stripe as well, big difference. Colts a pristine 12 of 14 for 85%. Only 5 of 11 for the Lords, shooting a pretty pedestrian 45%. So a lot of ground for the Durham Lords to make up, while the Colts trying to put this one in cruise control. Zach, what are your thoughts on that first half of action?
Yeah, I think you covered it right there. The shooting's got to be the number one talking point from this game. The Colts making 41% of their threes, like you mentioned. Durham 28%, and the free throw line just a huge difference. The Colts 85% of theirs, and Durham just 5 of 11. So, you know, you look at the rest of the stats from the game, it's pretty even all across the board. But those shooting numbers are really what have sparked Centennial to this double-digit lead.
Exactly. Well, it's all about efficiency, right? That's the name of the game, and it's really been an efficient attack for the Colts, whereas the Lords have really kind of been doing a lot of chucking and praying. So on the floor for the Colts, we have a new collection. It's going to be Armstrong, McCallum. Excuse me. It's going to be Shallow, Armstrong, as well as Ndungala, Williams, and finally Crawford, as the Lords have the ball in the offensive half. Going up, good defense though. Going up for a second time, and that one going to be a jump ball, so it will be Lords ball. Speaking of the Lords, on the floor for them, we've got Adam Hosseini, in addition to the ball carrier now, that's Kansky Simon. Now it's at the buzzer, it's going to be O'Shane Taylor Douglas going up, unable to make it happen. That's a shot clock violation. He's the third member. Then additionally, we have Thomas Barbosa. And finally, we have Kansky Simon.
Yeah, Simon
from distance, and that one going to happen as the Colts continue to shoot the lights out of the Athletics and Wellness Center here.
I was just going to say there, Kansky Simon, the tallest player on the floor at 6'7", and here he is with the almost dunk.
Almost dunk. He puts it home. And so that one's going to make this one a 48-31 ball game. Now the Colts back. It's Armstrong, feeds it off, driving to the hoop, but unable to get it to go. That's Kinsey Williams.
Great ball movement there from the Colts. As we mentioned earlier on in the broadcast, looking to do it as a team today. They have 3 scorers already in double digits. Some good ball movement there from Crawford and Armstrong.
Good ball movement, unable to put it away, but they retain possession. That was, Khalil Williams. Now on the far side, driving the hoop. The kick out now. Armstrong pulls up, makes it happen at the buzzer. The shot clock winding down. Armstrong, and the Colts are at 50 now. It's now 50-31. Back the other way though go the Lords. It's Barbosa now with the ball. Barbosa kicks it out now to Taylor Douglas. Taylor Douglas back to Barbosa from distance. He's unable to get that one to fall as the rebound there by Ndungala. Ndungala will carry it up the floor. Driving right to the hoop. Can't get it to go. That one's rebounded by Hosseini. Hosseini now back the other way. More back and forth action. Hosseini will try to lay it in. He can't do so, but the nice follow-up there. That one's Kansky-Simon. And it's now 50-33. Still a pretty considerable lead for the Colts. Trying to split the defenders. Does exactly that. That's a great play there by Tayshawn Crawford, who's been everywhere for the Colts.
Really making his impact on both sides of the floor today. You can see him right now at the front of that press, helping out that 8-second call. Really making his impact felt today.
That's the second time that the Lords have had that happen. Discombobulated, that team is.
Tayshawn, huge part of that. You saw him at the top of the 2-2-1 that the Colts are running right now. He's causing havoc out there with energy, finishing at the rim, just making a huge impact for the Colts.
So we've got a swap here. It's Thomas Barbosa heading off and Angelo Sarsonis coming on. You see him defending the inbound. That there is Hussam Shallow, who, for all the talk of his shallow name, has been working from deep. Shallow now tries to drive, kicks it out. Great pass there, and the bucket! Tayshawn Crawford, how do you do? What a play by the Etobicoke kid. Gets the hoop and the harm. That is some excellent work there by Tayshawn Crawford with some physicality down low. Now heads to the stripe. Unable to make them pay with a third, but excellent work there. Crawford, what a play he's been putting together. As that one stolen by Armstrong. Gets the friendly roll too. And the Colts extend their lead once again. Up now 56-33.
Everything coming up all Colts today with that roll there. You can just tell it's that kind of night for Durham.
It is that kind of night. Durham, though, gets one back there. That one's going to be Adam Hosseini, who drops it in.
After that layup with the foul there, Crawford has 17 points today on 7 of 10 shooting. Very efficient for the second-year guard.
That is exactly what you asked for.
Excuse me, first-year guard.
First-year guard. That's exactly what you asked for. His first game on home court, he is doing everything and anything he can to help this team. He looked really, really good. That one's going to be Hosseini dropping that in for his 13th point of the affair. So the Colts now bring it up. This is the aforementioned dynamic duo. It's Armstrong with it. He has it poked away. Retains possession, though. Splits the defenders, go to the hoop. Unable to get the friendly roll this time, though. That one's rebounded now by Durham's Kansky-Simon. Ahead now it goes to Taylor Douglas. He'll kick it off as he'll go back and forth. They're setting up something here. They'll kick, it's turned over as it's tipped away. Back go the Colts. And a bit of an odd man rush here. Kick out to the corner and just stepped out of bounds there was Hussam Shallow.
Just an inch of that heel on the line.
Just out of bounds.
Well, you know, we've talked a little bit about the Scarborough kids playing today. We got another one there, number 9 from Durham.
Battle at the board here, unable to put anything in, and now it's a foul. Durham having all sorts of problems putting the ball in around the hoop. Yeah, efficiency not exactly their forte, shooting just 37%. They'll get the inbound, though. Bounces it off the back of Armstrong. That one was, it was O'Shane Taylor Douglas. And look at that, pulling a little wizardry out of his hat. Fittingly named the Durham Lords, because that one looked like a medieval little curse there. It was a nice little play there by O'Shane Taylor Douglas.
Some wizardry indeed.
Some wizardry indeed. And he'll head to the line and try to make it 3. Unable to do so. That one's rebounded. Stolen away, though. It's poked out. Now it's again Taylor Douglas, and he'll put it in. And he's all sorts of fired up. And the Colts will call time out. It's still a 16-point game, a very large hill for the Durham Lords to climb. And kudos, the Colts have been excellent in several facets of the game, but they got caught sleeping there. Otherwise, though, they have been wide awake, doing those shots of double espresso before the game, perhaps. and they are all sorts of jazzed.
Yeah, holding Durham to, a low shooting percentage like we're talking about efficiency-wise. They are shooting 41% now, so a good timeout there by Coach Michael Jackman to kind of end that run. Hopefully Centennial comes out with a renewed sense of that vigor that you're talking about. It is surprising to see Durham having such an inefficient night. They opened their season with a win against Georgian. They shot 52% in that game and shot 47% from three, so a big switch for them. But, as much as they've switched, so have the Colts. The Colts looking way different than they did in their opening night loss to Fleming. So two teams heading in different directions, I guess, after opening the season.
I guess that's probably a fair assessment. In your eyes, is there something that the Colts are doing defensively that's really allowed them to limit the Lord's defensive efficiency? Or do you think this is just a case of not getting the rolls?
I think the Colts have done a great job of guarding at the rim. They don't have the biggest team out there, but they've done a great job of guarding with their hands up and making it tough for Lords, not giving up any free layups throughout tonight and, holding them to such an inefficient shooting night so far, especially at the rim.
It's been a really good defensive effort as Armstrong here makes a nice little move to get out of the backcourt, driving to the hoop. Can't get the friendly roll this time. He almost made an excellent play there. Getting back, though, on defense. Good work there as now Taylor Douglas sends it off. Sarosa, now it's back to Taylor Douglas. Kick it out from deep. Not going to go, though. A rebound, and what a block! Oh, my goodness gracious. Did you see that? And none other than Tayshawn Crawford again.
Who else could it be?
Who else? This guy is everywhere on the court.
Huge night for him, and I just talked about that defense at the rim, and he getting up there, making that block at 6'4". He got way above the rim for that there.
Oh, as a wise man once said, get that garbage out of here. Good stuff there defensively. The Lords retain possession, though, as it's taken now by Angelo Sarsonis. He'll send it inside. Now at the top of the key, unable to put it in there was Taylor Douglas. Now the Lords retain possession, and a nice touch there by Kansky Simon as he puts that one in. Colts trying to work with some pace now. They'll slow it down a little bit. This one is Ndungala now. He'll send it out. There's the star of the game, Crawford, with it. Crawford, little shimmy. Nice move to get to the hoop, unable to get the ball to fall through, though. Sarsonis now with it. He'll kick it out over to Taylor Douglas. Taylor Douglas driving, and he will lose it, but retain possession as you see that Tayshawn Crawford unhappy with the official for that call. Similarly, Kovan Armstrong seems a little confused.
Good work getting the heated Crawford out of there, though. Don't need a technical at this point in the game.
Especially when not with the game that he has had. Now the kick out from distance again, unable to fall. And that one's going to be an offensive foul. So the Colts will take it the other way.
Great box out there by Armstrong, forcing the Durham Lords to try and physically move him out of the way.
Difficult to do that. He's not the thickest of guys out there, but he has a solid base, I'll tell you that. He's tough to move. So Armstrong will inbound it now, and as now we see McCallum taking it.
Interesting to see the Colts give McCallum lead ball handling duties when he's on the floor, but when he's not, Armstrong obviously takes that role.
Armstrong from distance, unable to get it to fall, leaping high above the rest of his defenders is Adam Osaini. Now in the corner from deep, and he gets it to go. Angelo Sarsonis and the visiting Durham Lords faithful happy with that. This lead has shrunk considerably. Nice little move there. Stays on his feet. Stolen away though. A battle over the ball taken by the Lords. Hosseini now driving, kicks it out, and gets it to fall as Kansky Simon, and it's a single-digit lead. The Colts trying to use their speed, and a foul called. And the bench for the Lords gets up in arms on that one. And it's now just a 9-point cushion. This thing looked, well, maybe not over, but certainly looked pretty well comfortable for the Colts. But now all of a sudden it's 56-47. Colts scoring has maybe dried up a little bit. Meanwhile, the Lords, who were shooting a putrid, 30-some-odd percent, up to 41% from the field, they've really turned it on in this second half.
Yeah, not stalled at all by that Centennial timeout we saw a little bit of ago. They kept their momentum going, and they're playing a little bit more physical on defense now, forcing some turnovers and getting out in transition.
That transition clearly the difference, because before I think they were kind of forcing it from in tight, and now maybe being a little bit more creative. The crowd's starting to get a little bit more excited. The visitors chanting defense. Armstrong now passes it off, trying to silence the visiting crowd. The kick out now for 3. He got it! Yes, sir! That one there from McCallum. That's a big triple.
Good poise from Centennial. You can feel the energy in the gym.
It's a turnover there, and it'll be Hosseini, though, putting it in. It's a 10-point ball game. As trying to figure something out, it'll be an inbound here for McCallum. He'll pass it off to Armstrong, and the primary ball handler carries it up and draws a foul. That is some good work by McCallum there, the Winnipeg native.
Technical foul here on Crawford, getting a little bit heated on the floor.
Oh, that's not what you want to see. You can't be giving it back like that. This thing's getting heated. This is certainly shaping up to be an exciting final 13 minutes or so.
Not 100% sure I agree with the technical foul there. Crawford just clapping after the foul call there, so.
Yeah,
you know.
I don't know, man. You know, tension's rising. I guess if you're one of the refs, you're trying to maintain composure, keep this game from getting out of hand or anything like that. But all of a sudden, again, it's a single-digit lead, 59-50. Taking a look at the line score so far, Durham outscoring Centennial 21-14. Defense chance from the visiting Durham crowd. McCallum trying to make a move, gets around his defender. He'll kick it out now. The Colts now, it's Armstrong from deep. Can't get it to fall. Great rebound there, though. Going to work. Can't put it in, though. That one was that one was Lewin. Great defensive play now. Armstrong with the ball. Armstrong carrying it up. Can't get the soft touch. Great rebounding there by the Colts. Good work, unable to put it in. They're having their difficulties now on the inside.
Yeah, you mentioned composure, and we'll see as the temperature rises in the gym. We'll see if Centennial can kind of keep your composure. You know, not necessarily you'd expect to get that a visiting crowd yelling at you in your home gym, but there is definitely the traveling squad with the Lords here.
Yeah, unusual, I'll tell you that much, as that one's a blocking foul called on the Colts, so heading to the charity stripe will be Kansky Simon. Simon, Durham's leading scorer, quietly so, I would say. Hosseini taking the majority of the shots and doing some damage from distance, but Kansky Simon in and around pitching in.
Yeah, finding success on the boards and using that 6-7 frame to get to the rim and finish some layups.
T-7 rebounds for Kansky Simon. He picks up his 16th point of the game here. More defense chance. The crowd has come alive for Durham. And a turnover there almost, as that one just about was disastrous for McCallum. Jacob McCallum, the lead ball handler here, trying to make stuff happen. Armstrong will inbound it. He'll kick it out. That one's over to Shallow. Shallow driving, turns it over. Durham making life difficult for the Colts. Now they head to the hoop. Good defensive play by the Colts near the basket. Now McCallum trying to get it out over half court as he's struggling in his own end. He'll kick it up now as Shallow has it. Shallow will eat some clock here. McCallum gets a man in the air, unable to get it to fall. Great rebound by Armstrong. Loses it briefly but retains it, then puts it in there. That's Colvin Armstrong doing work. It's a 10-point lead again. The Lords, though, working quickly.
Oh,
And that's going to be a foul called. And somebody's hurting on the floor there. That looks not so great.
a few possessions in transition, we see Centennial trying to draw charges there, and once again, he gets his feet set, tries to draw that charge, but the call does not go Centennial's way.
That's Devianta Lewin that was on the floor now up. Thankfully, it looks like he's okay. Limping a little bit, though. Hopefully, he's all right. It's a 10-point game. The tensions are rising at the Athletics and Wellness Center. This one, a doozy. It looked for a while like it was going to be all Colts, but something clicked and the Durham Lords have found another gear. And while they've been unable to get the lead lower than about 9 or so, the momentum certainly in their favor.
Yeah, it's felt like a really long quarter so far. We've had a lot of action, a little bit of drama here towards the end. Definitely seeing Durham put themselves back in this game, so we'll see how Centennial can respond, for the last minute and a half here and at the beginning of the fourth.
Heading to the line, it's Glody Kashala.
Some life here from the Centennial side.
And it works. Kashala unable to get the first one to fall. We're getting a bit of a battle of the crowds here. We've got supporters on one end for the Colts and on the other for Durham, as that one will sink in again. It's a 9-point lead. Now Shallow with the ball. Carries it over the timeline now.
Crawford back on the floor here for Centennial.
He's been all over this ball game. Nice pass inside. Armstrong unable to get it to fall. Gets the rebound, but can't cash it. I'm surprised that wasn't called out of bounds. It looked like that was a real close one. Coming up now, it's the Lords. Driving to the hoop, unable to get it to go. That was number 9. A battle for a loose ball. It's won by the Colts. It's a bit of an odd man break here. Going to the hoop. Gets it to fall. That one there is Josh Pina. And the Colts again lead by double digits.
Back and forth we go once again. Kind of reminiscent of the first quarter in that up and down action that we saw.
Great defense there. It's stolen away. Going to the hoop now. Gets a man to miss. Can't get it to fall though. Now back go the Lords. Go to the hoop. He'll stop up. Now Hosseini turns it over. Now Shallow with the ball. Shallow kicks it out. Armstrong from deep. Doesn't gonna go. Picked up though. It's now Armstrong with it. He'll slow it down. 9 seconds remain on the shot clock. Kicked out to Shallow. 5 seconds remain. Shallow drives the hoop. Kicks out from distance. Not gonna fall. Rebounded by the Durham Lords. They'll go back the other way. It's Taylor Douglas with it. Taylor Douglas. 4 seconds remain from distance. The shot is gonna fall there for Sarsotis. And it's all of a sudden an 8-point game as the third quarter expires. This one a lot closer than it was about 10 minutes ago. Now 63-55. The Colts still leading, but their command on this one not as firm as it was just a short while ago. You're watching Colts basketball. It's 63-55. Colts leading, but not as much as before. You're watching Colts basketball on OCAA Live. Fourth quarter action set to go with 10 minutes remaining in the ball game. The Colts up 63-55. Jory Negan-Schechter alongside Zach Warden, OCAA basketball. The Colts men's squad doing everything they can to hold on to the lead. Shallow with the ball at the top of the three-point. He'll kick it out to Kovan Armstrong. Drives the hoop and gets it to go. That's a big one there. It's again a 10-point lead.
Big possession there for the Colts coming out of that tough third quarter, really bouncing back. Great to see the ball go in the hoop on the first possession. If
they can keep it up, that would be huge. Now with the ball at the top of the three-point arc. That one there, Angelo Sarsonis. Uh-oh, now the Colts having trouble getting it out. They'll do so, though, as now Armstrong kicks it ahead to Crawford. Back to Armstrong. Kicks it out. The pump fake there. Now back to Shallow. Not going to fall. That one's picked up by Adam Osaini. He'll carry it up. Osaini slows up now from distance. That'll rim out.
You can see the confidence coming in Durham shooting. They're putting them up more now earlier than they were earlier.
Shallow, and it's a travel on the Colts. That is tough. This game was not this close. And now all of a sudden it is very close. Going to the hoop, and that one's going to fall, and it's a 5-point game. And it's a technical now called. I believe it's on head coach Michael Jackman.
Not too sure who that one was on there.
I'm not sure.
I think you're right. I think it is on Coach Jackman there for throwing his hands in the air.
Oh, man. Listen. Impartial sports journalist, but come on now.
I'm not sure if maybe he added some verbal cues with that motion. But
it's a good thing we don't have that ISO cam, because I'm sure he said, you mother-friendly man. You mighty friendly man, excuse me.
Well, we'll see back into the action, see how the Colts can deal with the Durham press here.
4-point game. As you mentioned, Durham pressing. Armstrong tipped away. It's out of bounds. Remains Colts ball.
All of a sudden a 4-point game after Centennial controlled the action in the first half, but Durham a really great third quarter, winning it 26-18, giving them a chance to come back and steal a win on the road here.
Now from a couple feet out, that one is not going to fall for McClellan. Now back the other way, and it's a 2-point game. That did not take long. It's razor thin as the crowd gets into it. Shallow now with the ball. Crossover move, going to the hoop. Can't get it to fall, gets his own rebound and gets the hoop there. That is some good resilience from Hussam Shallow. Now over the timeline goes Angelo Sarsonis. Heel drive, pulls up from the free throw line. It doesn't fall off the front of the hoop, but cleaning up the glass there is Kansky Simon, using every inch of that large frame. Now it's Hussam Shallow with the ball, directing his troops. It's Kovan Armstrong. Evades the swipe, going to the hoop. Gets it to go! Shallow and Armstrong! Sounds like the name of the best band from the 70s. That duo making sweet music right now. Out in the corner! Not gonna go! That's big for the Colts. Back the other way they go. Slowing it down just a little bit. Now Armstrong pushes it ahead. He'll send that one off as now it's Impino with it. Now in the corner. Yes, sir! How do you do, Kovar Armstrong? A big triple there. And the Colts extend their lead. That was pretty good. Kovan Armstrong continues to be a menace. He's up to 25 in the ball game, and he's got ice in his veins.
The confidence in that shot, insane. He's coming alive down the stretch, and if you're Durham, he's the one guy you just can't let go in.
Yeah, no, this was the Tayshawn Crawford show, and he has been really great. 17 points on 7 of 11 shooting, but when you need a bucket, you call Armstrong. That was excellent. Fading away. He makes a great move and does damage.
Coming down the stretch here, obviously, you know, we talk about Armstrong and Crawford kind of having such a great game for Centennial, but who do you think Durham's going to turn to as we, you know, I assume get into a close game here down the stretch?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's really been three guys for them. It's been Kansky, Simon, Adam Hosseini, and Angelo Sarsonis, 18, 17, and 15 points respectively. So no one really as their 1A guy. I imagine that's maybe by design, but given the volume he's been shooting with, you got to think Adam Hosseini is going to be the guy there, whereas you put Kansky maybe underneath the hoop and hopefully he cleans up the mess. So 72-65. Great read there. Shallow and gets it to go. And it's going to be a foul, though. And it's going to be no basket, but Shallow is going to get to the line.
Two shots and the ball, I believe.
2 shots and the ball. Well, that was some great anticipation there by Hussam Shallow. He'll get the first one to go. That lead we talked about seesawing back and forth, all of a sudden back up to 8. So the Colts perhaps can use this as a bit of an opportunity to stretch things open. Up to 9 now as it's 74-65. 6 minutes and 48 seconds remain in the ball game. An eternity, but the Colts got to be happy with where they are. So Shallow with the ball, he'll drive, trying to go behind the back. It's turned over though, and back go the Durham Lords. It's O'Shane Taylor Douglas with it. He'll drive now, stops up around the elbow, kicks it back out. Now it's Hosseini, pass over there, and it's going to be Kansky Simon trying to put it in. He's unable to do so, but will draw the foul and head to the line.
Simon headed the line for the 3rd time today. He is 2 for 5, so some big shots here for them as they look to make their way back into the game once again.
Simon, as we mentioned, their leading scorer, also with 10 rebounds. He's got the double-double going. He'll put that one in for his 19th points of the game. A loud crowd trying to will the miss. Unable to do so, and the Durham Lords get up to 67. Now with a bit of a press here, the Colts able to evade the pressure though. It's going to be Shallow with it. He'll kick it off now up to McCallum with the ball now. Does a nice job getting around the screen. It's tipped though, but retained by the Colts. Almost losing his balance there. Let's do some Shallow. Shallow now with it. Kicks it out. McCallum. Yes, sir! A huge triple! That one from distance makes it a 10-point lead again. Back comes Hosseini. He's trying to slice and dice, unable to do so. But cleaning up the mess on the rebound there was Kansky Simon. Who else? That guy's racking up the rebounds. This one picking up in pace. It's going to be Hussam Shallow with it. He'll slow it down a little bit. 15 seconds remain on the shot clock. Picks up by Bowen Armstrong. We'll kick it off from distance. It's Armstrong. Unable to make it fall, but great work there, anticipating the rebound. 10 seconds on the clock. Good job there avoiding the steal. Back to Shallow. Shallow from deep. And it's going to be an air ball. Out of bounds, and it'll be Durham ball. Good work there, nonetheless, by the Colts, at least eating some clock. That was a frenetic possession, to put it lightly.
A lot of up and down here. We kind of saw that at the beginning of the first quarter, and then things slowed down a bit, but picking up once again.
That one's not going to fall for O'Shane Taylor Douglas, and the Colts able to bring it back up the floor. On the far side now, it's Tayshawn Crawford. Crawford now hands it off. Just in front of the stripe, and that's a nice one off the window pane by Jacob McClellan. This kid's been pretty good himself. The Colts getting contributions from all over the lineup.
A couple big shots there back-to-back from McCallum.
Going to the hoop, unable to get it to fall there was Angelo Sarsonis, and it's now out of bounds. It will remain Durham ball, though. Inbounding it is O'Shane Taylor Douglas. Kicked out for 3.
Sarsonis, that's his 4th made 3 of the game. He's made some big ones today.
You took the words right out of my mouth. This guy has been tit for tat with everything the Colts can throw at him. Now a good defensive play, but it's tipped, so no over and back. Armstrong will reset with 10 on the clock. Now it's Armstrong now it's Armstrong with it here. Great play there with the scoop, and he puts it in. Colts up to 81 points. This one, a high action affair. Now Sarsonis with it. He's been lethal from deep. They'll kick it around. It's Hosseini. Can't get it to fall. They're on the rebound, though. From deep, Sarsonis. Wow. And a big 3 again.
That is 5 made 3s for him today. Making big shots in his hometown of Scarborough. Making the Colts pay.
Angelo Sarsonis, Scarborough, Ontario. John Pugliani Collegiate Institute product in his 4th year with the Durham Lords, has just been lethal from distance, like a sniper out there, just knocking them down. So we've got to time it on the floor. It's a 6-point game.
Just under 4 minutes left. A lot can happen in 4 minutes, so we are not done here at all.
Not even close. Sarsonis suddenly creeping up with Kansky Simon. Simon with 22. Sarsonis with 21. This kid's been lethal from distance, 5 of 6. This guy's like a dead-eye shooter here. Absolutely knocking him down. Colts got to do more to protect from distance, but I mean, when you've got Kansky Simon on the inside, it's tough to kind of pick your poison. So you start to wonder what the optimal strategy is. As mentioned, just 3:46 remaining in the ball game. We say just, but that is a ton of time. Inbounded now as it's McLeod with it. He'll carry it up. Looks like Durham backing off a little bit.
Looks like they're into a 1-2-2 press now instead of that man they were running earlier. Just trying to switch up the look here into the final stretch of the game.
Back up top here, it's Shallow. Shallow surveys. Now again from deep, off the rim. That one's gonna try to be saved there. Shallow did a good job trying to get there, but unable to keep it in.
Let's see if Centennial decides to change up their defense too, heading down here into the final stretch. They're looking like they are going to put on some pressure here and try and kill some clock in the backcourt.
Going to the hoop now, unable to get anything to go. It's a battle for a loose ball. Who's going to come up with it? And it's going to be out of bounds. And it's going to be Colts ball.
A foul called there. Everybody, a lot of action all over the floor, the rim, bodies going all over the place, doing everything you can to win this game.
Everybody's doing what they can. This is a all hands on deck type of night, or afternoon, if you will. Who's Sam Shallow with the ball? Crosses over, kicks it out. Who else but McLeod? Oh, we just can't get it to fall. In and out. That one would have been enormous. Instead, Durham has life. Hosseini kicks it back out. Now driving the hoop. Going to the rim. Unable to get it to fall there with Taylor Douglas. Now it's none other than Sarsonis, who has been the Colts' enemy number 1 here.
Having a huge second half for Durham. He's been a catalyst to this comeback and is now their leading scorer.
He's been just lethal in every way, shape, and form. McLeod with it. Khaled now with it. He'll kick it out now. Now he'll get it back. Now into the top of the key. Out in the corner. Nice little move there. Going to the hoop. Can't get it to fall, but draws the foul there with Tayshawn Crawford. And coming up a little lame here. Uh-oh. Oh, that's not good.
Rolled ankle on the landing, maybe.
Oh.
Give him a little bit of time to walk that off. He's going right to the free throw line.
Bent over now. Yeah, he did not look good there, but he seems like he's okay. Maybe a calf, maybe a ankle. I mean, listen, if it's a Charlie horse, a cramp, whatever it may be, unpleasant, I'm sure. And this late in the ball game, certainly not someone you want to be battling injury.
this is the first time I've seen him play, but from watching him in this one game, I can tell you that he is not coming out of this one.
No, this guy is an absolute warrior. You can tell this Colts team definitely shades of those grit and grind Memphis Grizzlies teams that they will outwork you. That is what they try to do, and you can see it's going to be Crawford kind of limping off a little bit there. He does not look like he's in good shape. And heading right to the athletic therapist. So with 2:10 remaining across the timeline there, it's O'Shane Taylor-Douglas. Kicks it down low. Going to the hoop now, it's going to be Kansky-Simon able to get it to fall. Going back to the rim though. Again trying to get it, but can't there, Simon. The Lords retain possession of the rebound. Another chance, and the Colts will get the ball now as that one's out of bounds.
Durham really looking to their size here down the stretch. They went to a post-up for Kansky-Simon there. You got Glody Kashala making a big difference in this game. He's got a ton of boards as well. They're using their size to try and take this one home.
Now the Colts trying to keep them at bay. Now a kick on inside and a big block there as meeting number 14. That was Mbina met at the rim, and it was by Glody Kashala there. That was some good defense. And
looks like he might have stepped out of bounds over
that
there.
Was close. Hard to see from our angle. Going to the hoop now. Can't get the friendly roll as he'll tear that one down. Now the Colts carry it in. Going to the hoop. A kick out. Oh, it just doesn't fall. That would have been huge. Instead, it's the Lords going back the other way. Sarsonis kicks it out. Now it's off the front of the rim. Armstrong now with it. A 2-on-1. Armstrong tries to get fancy with it. Almost costs them, but they keep it in. Now they'll kick it out. Oh, and that one will be called a foul in the act of shooting there. That one there was Ambrosia Ndungala putting it up. 52 seconds remaining. It's a 5-point game. This one feels a lot closer than that one, though.
Two big shots here. Can you make it a 3-possession game?
That would be about as close to a dagger as you're going to get, but hard to call anything a dagger with how the Lords have shot the ball. That's big. It's now 83-77, and the Lords will need a pair of threes to tie it, and a huge one there. That's big. And the Colts up by 7. 52 seconds remain. Carried over the timeline. Now inside to Kansky-Simon, who draws the foul but can't get the and one. So he will head to the stripe.
He made his last 2 on his last trip, so a big chance for Simon here to get them right back into this game and put them back in within reach in a 2-possession.
The crowd is loud. They're banging their feet, stomping them loud. Simon can't get the first to fall. And that is big for the Colts. 47 seconds left on the clock. You could cut the tension with a butter knife. The crowd on the Colts supporter side getting loud. The second one won't fall either. What's the call, though?
Another line violation. We've seen like 4 of those today.
Oh, that's not what you want to see. Careless stuff from the Centennial Colts to give the Durham Lords some life. So once again, Simon will get an opportunity to make it a 6-point game. Ref heads over, tells him to reset the clock to 47.7. Kansky-Simon.
Second chance here.
A second chance. That's what it's all about. A chance at redemption. The crowd is loud. Can he make the Colts pay? He'll get that one to go, but it's still a 2-possession game. Carrying it over the timeline. The Colts with the ball, evading pressure. Now it's Armstrong with it. They're trying to chew some clock here. Stolen away, though. Great play there by Taylor Douglas going to the hoop, and he gets it to go. And it's a 4-point game with 31 seconds left. It's Hussam Shallow with the ball. Shallow now, over to McCallad. Now it's the Colts again. Pressure coming. Great work there evading it though. They're going to eat more clock. 17, 16. Running out of time. Good move there out to the corner. They'll continue to eat clock. Going to the hoop! And slamming it down was Ambrosio Indungawa. Oh, baby!
That is an exclamation point on this one.
You can absolutely put that one. Oh my goodness, just slamming it down. He does it with authority. Indungawa.
Silencing the Durham side over here. A huge slam there. That should put this one out of reach.
Listen, I mean, I didn't want to say it, but if you're saying it, I'll say it too. I think that one might be the dagger. That is a lethal, absolute hammer there. And it makes it a 2-possession game. 6 points separating the Colts from the Lords. The Colts on the precipice of taking their home opener.
He went up and slammed that. You know, you think shot clock running down, you're going to go in, maybe try and put in a little layup there. No sir.
Way.
He is putting that down.
Oh, just lethal. Oh, put it on a poster.
Somebody clip that.
Oh, somebody clip that.
6'1" Indungawa getting up for that slam.
Look,
absolutely insane.
He may be 6'1", but he looked about 7'1" on that one. He just absolutely slammed that one home. So 11.7 seconds remain. It would take nothing short of a minor miracle, if I do say so myself, for the Durham Lords to get back into this one.
Watch Sarsonis on this one. He's been hot from 3 all night. And there
it's going to be Sarsonis. Unable to get the shot off. That might even be a 2. Gets it to fall, though. It's just a 2, though. Not a 3, though.
He'll have a chance to make it 3.
Oh, it's going to be a foul as well. Oh, wow. I mean, listen, part 1 of that minor miracle was getting that ball to fall, and the Lords got that. So they'll get a chance at the stripe to make it a 3-point game, but even still with a foul to give. Actually, excuse me, not a foul to give, though. They'll be in the bonus with their next foul, so they'll have to get some luck as well from the free throw line. But the ball don't lie! Sarsonis unable to get the free throw to go. The Colts get possession of the ball. Timeout called now with 8.3 left on the clock. That is huge.
Durham obviously upset with the call there on the baseline. A matter of inches seeing who that one went off. A huge call in the scope of this game, though.
Just enormous. So a timeout here late in the ball game. It's a 4-point game. This one looks about done.
If you're the Colts here, you got to look to get the ball into the hands of your best free throw shooters. I'd imagine you got Coban Armstrong coming off a screen to get the ball here, and hoping Durham sends them to the line for a couple of points.
And try to put this thing on ice. This has been a thrilling affair. There's really no other way to put it. It did look that way for a while. The first 20 minutes of this ball game were all Colts. It was 45 to 29 at halftime. This thing was not close, but all of a sudden in the second half, Colts outscored 51 to 41. So the Lords made it close.
And even though he missed that free throw there, what a game for Angelo Sarsonis. The Lords are not back in this game without his efforts. He has been absolutely crazy, putting up 23 points, making 5 threes, almost making that one there.
That one would have been absolutely bananas. It was like a foot on the line. It was close, too. He almost did make it a 3, and could you imagine if he draws the foul and gets a 4th potential there? This game would have looked very different right now, but a 4-point game and very little time on the clock. The Colts really just need to ice this one.
Crawford coming back in now.
Obviously still feeling in that leg. You can see him limping a little bit, but definitely like him as a free throw shooter. Surprisingly, it is Coban Armstrong who will inbound it. Having some trouble. Gets it now to the aforementioned Crawford, and he will be the one that heads to the free throw line. So this is a chance to seal the deal. Burp. First one will go.
Instructions from Coach Jackman, no fouling here.
Second one goes. Colts up by 6, 7.2. A timeout called by the Durham Lords, but I mean, this one looks all but over.
Angelo Sarsonis, though, I'm feeling like he might get the ball here. You know, 5 for 6 for 3. You need a couple shots to go down. I'm imagining that they're going to go for the 3 here. Hope for a missed free throw, and then you get one last shot at it, maybe?
I don't even know if there's enough time to do all that, but I mean, that's kind of their only option, right? I mean, Sarsonis 5 of 6 for 3. The only other guy with any sort of volume in their three-point shooting is Adam Hosseini. He's 2 of 7, though. Has not really been quite as efficient as Sarsonis.
Just looking back at their last game, he was 5 or 7 from 3. So obviously the ability's there. Taylor Douglas took 5 threes in their last game. So if you're looking for maybe a sneaky guy to get the ball to, he might be a guy you get open and see what he can do.
I mean, he hasn't taken a single 3 this game, at least by the box score. So surprisingly not involving him in that distance.
Well, he shot 1 of 5, so maybe a little adjustment between games. He's been really getting downhill, attacking the rim today. So.
Oh, he's been really good. He's been, in my opinion, he's been one of their most impactful players. He leads the team with 8 assists, and it's not particularly close. Glody Kashala, the only other guy with 4 or more. He has 4, a couple others with a lone dime, but almost a double-double for O'Shane with 11 points and 8 dimes.
Also mixing in 6 assists, so you're totally right. He's had a huge impact today, and it looks like he's going to be inbounding the ball here, so we'll see where they decide to go.
You got to figure it's a similar play the last time. You look for that, working around the horn, trying to get it to.
They do have Sarsonis and Hosseini at the top here, so to Douglas.
Oh, that's going to be Sarsonis. Not going to fall, but the foul there. And is it going to be 3? I believe it will. So with 2 seconds on the clock, Sarsonis will nonetheless get the chance to make this thing a 3-point ball game.
Coach Jackman arguing over there that he stuck his leg out on the foul, but
Displeased.
There were a lot of Colts around him there. So,
you know what word comes to mind? Ethical. First one falls. 5-point game. 2 seconds on the clock, so the string of events that would have to occur here would be pretty insane. And that might just end it. That one will rim out, and it's all of a sudden, at minimum, a 4-point lead. That one will fall, but it's 88-84. Not much time left. They'll inbound it. The foul called there with just a fraction of a second on the clock. I think you can put this one in the books, Zach.
Crawford jogging up to the free throw line to put this one to bed.
That's a big win for the Colts, a gutsy performance. Fighting it out. Shout out to man at the line right now, Tayshawn Crawford, who despite battling injury, poured in 20 points, at least to this point, with a chance to get that up to 22. But he had a big game. Kovan Armstrong, as always, putting the ball in the hoop. And Hussam Shallow had a nice ball game as well, distributing well. Team high 8 assists in this one. 14 points in the affair. The first free throw will not go for Crawford. The second one, however, will. 89-84. The Lords will inbound this one, and that will do it. The Colts win their first ball game of the season. 89-84, the final score. Zach, who's your player of the game?
Yeah, I mean, you got to go with Kovan. He was great down the stretch, really stepped up in the fourth quarter when it looked like Durham was getting themselves right back into it, and he put in a couple big buckets there and distributed really well for the Colts as well. So I'm going to go with Kovan.
Kovan, tough not to pick him. I'm going to give Hussam Shallow a shout out as well. Led the team in dimes, as mentioned. Also tied for the team lead in rebounds with 6. He was all over the floor, did a great job.
I got one more shout out. You got to give a shout out to Indungala for that huge slam down the stretch, putting this thing out of reach, essentially a huge play, getting the crowd on their feet.
That was one of the biggest buckets of the game, one of the loudest buckets of the game as the Colts head to center court to celebrate their victory. We want to thank you very much for joining us on this afternoon affair. Thank you as always to our entire team behind this afternoon's broadcast. For Zach Ward and I'm Jory Negan-Schechter. Thanks for tuning in. This was Colts Basketball on OCAA Live.